Well, good day, viewers, and here we are at Noel's Garden Tractors and Firewood again today. And today's kind of a midweek update of what's been going on. And we're going to do a quick eye exercise just to get ourselves started for the day and get everything focused, and be able to move your eyes to see what you're doing and all that kind of stuff. Well, there's one chart back there. We've got to do the focus on that one. And we move over to these two charts and focus right in on those two charts there. Just good. Eyes back and forth and back and forth. Focus. Alright, so I'll turn you around so you don't have to be looking at me. Yes, I'm sure you'd rather look at the eye charts. So there's what we have for a day today. Cloudy, wet, and 9 degrees Celsius. So there we go now. So the heat is on, and you can see my little fan going there. You might be able to see the fire kind of going in that crack just above the handle there. And my little air door down here is closed now, so she's up to temperature. And we've got about 110, 120 degrees coming off the top of the stove. Draft is open. And we are sitting at about 70 degrees, I think, in here. So today's task is we're going to grease up the Sir Dave's favorite tractor. And I know that in the backyard with Dale has the exact same tractor, much better shape than mine. And I'm hoping that Dale will get a cab for his tractor too. So Sir Dave will like both tractors then. Anyway, yeah, just doing a quick grease job here. It's not too much to do to it, but it's a little awkward to get to. So got a little jack underneath the axle there and able to get things moved. So over there it's going to be kind of tight to get in there. And I still have to get the steering box yet. I should. I never did, but I should. And I'll show you what I mean by I should. Anyway, not too much to do on this one. I've got the blower, or I should say thrower, all done. The gearbox in the center there has a grease nipple on it. Did that. The universal up here has a grease nipple, but this one here does not. And then we have two nipples here for the bearing on this end here. And that's about it for grease nipples. These two bearings here, this bearing and the other bearing on the other end, I'll just put some lube on them. And those two bearings were changed last year just at the end of the season of snow removal. And I had quite a job trying to find bearings for that. Boys, oh boys, it was quite a task. Anyway, all fixed up. So I'm also going to grease up the John Deere here today and change the oil in it. The oil doesn't need to be changed in Sir Dave's favorite tractor, but I do need to change the oil in the John Deere here because I noticed, or I checked it, and it did look a little bit dirty. So the oil in the Sir Dave's favorite tractor is still clean looking. So, and the hour meter tells me that it doesn't need to be done yet. I really need to get more hour meters and put them on the tractors. I'm kind of finding that handy. The case with the loader, it has an hour meter on it, and I have wrote down when I changed the oil, so that's kind of handy to have. Kablooey also has an hour meter, so I've wrote down its hours, so that's handy to have to see when you need to change the oil. And I guess you could just do it once a year, sort of thing, but it's kind of nice to know for sure. Anyway, so we're going to grease this old girl up. She's a 1970 John Deere 140H3. And we have a snow thrower on the front. Now, this tractor has an awful lot of grease nipples underneath it, so I'm going to have to do some jacking up, I think, to get at things. And really, that's all it needs. It's just a grease job and an oil change, and everything else is working good. So, yes, in 1970, H3, and the H3 is because it has 3 handles here for hydraulics. Some tractors were an H1 and they only had this handle. So the 2 extra handles operate the outlets up front here. So you have one on the left side, one on the right side. So one is for lift up and down, and the other one is for the top chute. That's not a factory hookup there on the snow thrower. I did that myself. So anyway, that's about what's going on with things today. Just a grease and oil, and yeah, she's quite a machine, that tractor. I probably should do this one too, I guess, the MF12 with the loader. Put too many grease nipples on it, a few. Anyway, my main focus today is that one. And what I mentioned about the steering box that I should do, and I never did to the Sir Dave's favorite tractor, but I did do it on this one. Because of it's so hard to get at, the grease nipple, you can see that grease nipple right there. It's kind of hard to see, I guess, but that grease nipple right there, that is piped into the steering box. So that makes that a lot easier to grease. And that's what I should do on all the other tractors, and including Sir Dave's favorite tractor. So, and this one could use that too, and we should do a service on it too, although it's not going to get used too much, I don't think, this year, but anyway, you just never know. So the update, I guess, is Update. Well, son and I were busy on the weekend, and what did we do? Well, it's hard for me to remember, of course, because I can't remember the videos for all the stickers there, right? So it's hard for me to remember what I did. Let's try with yesterday. So yesterday being Tuesday, the son was off and I was over helping out and doing whatever. And I'll do a little video about this maybe at some point. We went to my father's and mother's and brother's grave site, and we straightened up the stones, and I eventually finally got myself a new thing to put in the ground for putting a flag on. If any of you remember that the flags that I had at my father's stone, the graveyard people took all, and including mine, we all seem to have had a metal cross that you would put into the ground and you could put your flag into. So the graveyard people came along and stole all that. So I'm still not happy about that at all. Anyway, so now I see, not too far, not even the length of the garage here, from my father's stone, there was somebody with a stone there, whoever, all kinds of stuff out on the grass. With flowers and hangers and this and that and all the cats. There was a pile of stuff. And I got wondering, well, I only had one little thing here. And this fellow's got all kinds of stuff. So obviously something is up. I don't know what, and that's why I don't really want to talk to the fellow, because I know I'll probably lose my cool. And so now, this year, when I go back to the graveyard, I see more of the little crosses like I had. I've probably seen, just in the area around where my father's stone is, probably 6 of those little crosses. And on the back of the crosses, there's a name and a phone number. So if you wanted to have one made, you could get one made. So why all of a sudden, all of them had to come out last year, and now they seem to be allowed back in again? Yeah, I'm not happy about that at all. And I never did find my own yet. And if I come across a gravesite that has mine, it's coming out. It's as plain and simple as that. So anyway, I have a new system now, whether it's going to be any good or not, and I kind of like the idea it's up higher. I don't have the cross with it, so that may be, I may not be going to do that anymore. I'll just put the flag in, and hopefully the graveyard people will leave it alone. Anyway, the spot looks better now. We got the two, my mother's stone and my brother's stone, straightened up. They weren't off too bad, but we did a nice job, my son and I. So we got that fixed up. So then, then Tuesday afternoon, I have a Ford or a YT-H16H Ford lawn tractor that we used for quite a few years, and then the hydro transmission went in it. So it's been sitting in the barn for 3 years, and we obviously weren't going to do anything with it, and I doubt if you'd ever be able to get parts for it. And I just kind of decided there this year that tractor's done. Need space for other tractors, so we took it over to the son's garage, and we kind of decommissioned her there yesterday. Engine out, wiring out, anything that was useful in the dash is out, seats off it, and that was it, I guess. So then we took it over to our new storage spot in the woods. So that tractor is done. It's never going to be going again. The only things really left on it that's any good is the wheels. Oh yeah, we took the wheel weights off of it too, and the wheel weights may be going on Frankie, or also known as Grunt. So that was yesterday's goings on. Engine out of that tractor. The last time I tried to start that tractor, which was 3 years ago, it wouldn't start. So when we took it out there yesterday, holy cats, the thing was full of mice and mice living in it. Yeah, holy cats, the smell. Anyway, that could be the reason why it wasn't starting. But anyway, so when we got it all kind of cleaned out and stuff, I figured, well, let's put a battery on it before we get too many things disconnected. And we'll put a little starting fluid in it, just see if it starts and runs. So we did that, and sure enough, it did start and run, and it sounded fine. So the son may use that for a go-kart someday with him and his son. That's the idea of keeping the engine. Anyway, it's kind of sad to see the tractor go, because it was a good working tractor and cut grass nice and all that kind of stuff. So I do have a deck for it. Now, if there's anybody in my area in Prince Edward Island that wants a reasonable deck for a YT-16H tractor, about a 1990 model, deck worked fine. It's got a little bit of rust on the exits, the chute on the exit. But other than that, it's in pretty good shape. It works fine. The bearings are good. It has greasable bearings in it. And if anybody wants it, then I would say $200 would take it. So anyway, I don't know if anybody in Prince Edward Island watches my videos, but anyway, it's for sale, or it's just going to sit there, one or the other. So that's that. And it's a 48-inch deck. So I can't remember now what we did Monday. Oh, I think I have the case 224 back in snow throwing mode. So it got serviced and the snow thrower was put back on. And on Monday, I think it was. And then anyway, whatever days we did, the next little bit of stuff that I'm going to tell you was done over the weekend. I can't remember what day it was, but so the wood splitter was put away. It was serviced and put back in its spot. The saw bench, as I call it, is put away. The other thing that we did, and we didn't do any video on it because we just wanted to get stuff done, is the branch, the 10 to 12 inch branch that was in the woods that I wanted to get up, and I've mentioned it a few times. We went in and got it all sawed up and used the tractors and whatever to get it out and split it up with the splitter. So that job is all done, but sadly no video of doing any of that. Just had to get stuff done. So anyhow, that's kind of an update for now. I'm going to shut this off here now, and then I might be back a little bit later. It's just about noontime, so the cook just came home, so we'll have to have some dinner. So quickly before I go in for dinner, John Deere garden tractors, they were made, that one there is a 1970. They started making those 140s in 1968. They made the same kind of frame and hookup, I think, up until, I'm not sure of the year, but up until the 332 diesel tractor, I believe. So you have the next one after this 140 is a 300, and then you have quite a few 300 series tractors. I can't remember for sure if I know them all or not. I think there was a 312, 314, 316, 317, 318, 322, which was a gas Yanmar engine, and a 332, which was a diesel Yanmar engine. But basically what John Deere did was, what I read somewhere years ago, was they made the tractors all the same so that whatever attachments that you bought for the tractor, if you want to upgrade your tractor, trade in and get a newer model tractor, you could do that and keep all your attachments because they would then fit on the new tractor. So that was kind of a slick idea, I guess. I don't know if it would have been or not, but you would kind of think that would be, there would be a lot of tractors around without any attachments for them. So I don't know. Anyway, so why I'm saying that is this tractor is 1970. This snow thrower is off of a 317 tractor. Fit on fine. The only thing I had to do was to move the pulley a little bit to make it fit where the pulley is on the engine for the belt. So I just had to move that a little bit out or a little bit back. I forget now what it was, but anyway, I'm not sure what year the 317 is. I should know that because I look up that stuff all the time. Anyway, I think the 317s were early 80s. So, and I think the 332s were made up until probably late 80s. Anyway, they had basically all the same hookup for the snow thrower and then your mowing deck. I think they all were kind of the same. They may not have been, but same with the rear tillers hookup. But I remember reading that somewhere. I'm not sure where I seen that, but that's what John Deere did. They made the tractors basically frame-wise all the same so that you could keep your attachments and just trade the tractor in and get a new one. Anyway, there's a little update on that. So now I'm going to go in for some dinner. All right, so it's later on in the afternoon, and Sir Dave's favorite tractor is done. So it's ready for the snowbanks. Tire pressure's been checked, and she's been greased, and the snow thrower's been greased and whatever it needed, and everything is ready. And we did do a test on it there a month or so ago, and we started it up, and all the function works, so that's good. One done. And it's a nice 75 degrees in here today. Oh, gone up to 76. Almost 77. Yes, sir. Nice and warm. And the fire's working good. I'm quite impressed with the stove, the way it's working. The little door is open now. It's starting to look for heat again, which means it needs more wood. But it's at the end of the day, so we don't need to put anything in there. That worked really well today, I must say. Even when the little door is closed, you get that whistle of air going through it. And so that means the firebox is reasonably tight if it's whistling air through the little opening in the door that closes down there. So that's good. And the John Deere's partly done. We've got the oil drained out. We have the plug up top on the engine bonnet. So I'll leave that for the night, let it drip. And we have some of the grease nipples done, mostly on the front end. And one there on the snowblower, and I oiled up a couple of other things, and the chain is oiled, and the cable for the chute is oiled, and so the next thing is to there's a lot of grease nipples in underneath here, and of course the one for the steering box right there. And I haven't done this since I've owned the tractor. I'm going to take the caps off where the wheel bearings are and repack that with grease and adjust the castle nuts. Put the cotter pins back in. So she's got a good set of bearings in her. That's a well-made wheel setup there, just like you'd see on an old car. So anyway, yeah, that's good. The other things I seen were all right too. So there is quite a few grease nipples left, probably about 8 to 10. So I got to kind of get under it to do that. And other than that, I think she's pretty well. Put the oil in her, and that'll be it. Oh, and I greased up my gearbox there. You can see the little screw on the top of the 90-degree gearbox. I put some oil and a couple of shots of grease in there. And I had a little tiny piece of stick that I put down in the hole, and kind of like a dipstick, I checked to see how much was in it. So it was down probably about a quarter full. So that's good, I'd say. So I only put a little bit in, because you don't want too much in them, because once they get hot, they'll squeeze oil out through the seals if there's too much grease or oil in there. The chain inside of there I oiled. And the two outside bearings, I got to give them a little going with oil once I can get the tractor back a little further. Get them from in here. So coming along, another half a day. So slow, it just takes me time to do things. Anyway, so there you go. There's a kind of a midweek update and a small little rant. And we'll continue on tomorrow with something else. Have a great day wherever you're at and whatever you're doing.